to Stories Podcast. I'm your host, Amanda Weldin. Today's story is called Chicken Little, an adaptation of the classic fable written for you by Daniel Hinds. Thanks! Enjoy the episode. Chicken Little. Once upon a time, a little chicken named Chicken Little was pecking around the farmyard. She was a nervous little bird and easily excitable. She was always yelping in fright from even small surprises, and a single thing wrong would ruffle her feathers for days. So, perhaps it isn't all that surprising what happened to her that sunny spring morning. "Scritch, scritch, scratch, digging up some worms," she was singing to herself. "Scratch, scratch, scritch, lovin' how they squirm." She was alone, happily scratching in the dirt under the old oak tree, hunting for worms. They were always fat and wriggly after spring rains, perfect for a snack. Of course, Chicken Little even snacked nervously. Every few scratches, she would look up and peer around to make sure there was no trouble sneaking up on her. Of course, she never thought to look up, and trouble, loving to appear where you least suspect, tumbled down from the sky and clonked her right on the noggin. Fortunately, it was only an acorn, and it bounced off Chicken Little's head and rolled away under some leaves. Unfortunately, Chicken Little didn't see what hit her, and her nervous little brain went right into a tornado of a tizzy. "Oh no!" she screamed and took off running. "The sky is falling! It hit me right in the head! Oh no!" She was so upset she didn't even notice the old hen, Henny Penny, until she ran right into her ample, feathered backside. "Oh, my stars and garters!" she squawked in surprise. "Chicken Little, what's all the fuss about, sugar pie?" Chicken Little tried to talk, but the words all tripped over one another and caused a pile-up in her mouth. "Bless your heart, child. Put a little molasses on that tongue and slow it down for me." Chicken Little took a deep breath and started again, just a hair slower this time. "I think the sky is falling while it's raining all around. We'd love if it would stay above, but now it's on the ground. The sky is falling." When Chicken Little had finished, Henny Penny was wide-eyed with shock, and she was clucking scared under her breath. "The sky? Falling here? Well, bake me a biscuit and put it in the garden shed. What do we do?" "We've got to find a place to hide," Chicken Little said, "and we need to warn the others." Together, Chicken Little and Henny Penny ran across the farm. The cows and horses wouldn't listen to their clucking, but they soon found Ducky washing himself in the pond. He was dipping under water and then coming back up wet, picking at old feathers with his beak. Every so often, he'd tilt his head and scratch himself like a dog with his webbed feet.
"Well, hey there, ma'am and miss," he said. "What brings you over to the pond today? After that good rain, I thought you'd be out worm hunting."
"Well, put a pecan pie in the oven and call me Sister Sarah, but there's no time for worm hunting."
"Oh, what's that?"
said Ducky, noticing for the first time how frantic his visitors appeared.
"Or is there trouble?"
"I think the sky is falling, yes, I really, really do. We found it crashing all around, so much for Big Blue. The sky is falling." When Chicken Little had finished, Ducky flapped himself right out of the pond.
"The sky is falling? We'd better go find a place to hide,"
Ducky cried. He looked up at the sky, suspicious.
"Normally I'd fly away, but that seems like a bad idea given the circumstances. Let's get running."
Together, Chicken Little, Henny Penny, and Ducky scuttled off, quick as they could. They were still looking for a place to hide when they ran into Lucy Goosey. She was tending to her wildflowers, which means she was looking them over for the most luscious bulbs to eat. Nothing better than a fresh spring salad, she honked to herself as she swallowed a particularly healthy flower bud. Lucy Goosey! Look out! The sky is falling! Chicken Little yelled so loud and surprised Lucy so bad she tried to scream and started choking on the flower instead. Hack! Hack! Well, pick a peck of peppers and mail 'em to your Aunt Jenny. She's gone mad. Hank! Hank! The flower came flying free along with a crowd of coughs. What? Lucy Goosey croaked when the coughing stopped. I haven't gone mad. I was choking. You surprised the feathers off of me mid-bite. Now what's the big emergency with the sky? I think the sky is falling and it conked me on the head. I used to swear it'd stay up there. It's coming down instead. The sky is falling. When Chicken Little had finished, Lucy Goosey honked in terror. What do? We need a place to hide, she said.
That's what we were looking for when we found you,
said Lucky Ducky. So let's stop jawing and get moving, said Henny Penny. Together, Chicken Little, Henny Penny, Lucky Ducky, and Lucy Goosey made their way to the edge of the farm. They waddled under the fence meant for the cows and horses and started into the woods. They hadn't been going for more than a few minutes before they heard a sly voice from the bushes. Ooh, what a strange group we have here. Resting your feathers today? Out walked Foxy Loxy, red and sleek with sharp wits and even sharper teeth. Normally, the farm fowl would be scared of a fox, but their panic had them in such a state that they didn't even think twice. We don't have time for this, Chicken Little cried. The sky is falling. Oh, excuse me, said Foxy, looking up at the sky. I think the sky is falling and I'm pretty sure we're squished. I promise that to not be flat is what I would have wished. The sky is falling. Foxy Loxy listened to the song and his face grew more and more concerned. But inside, he was smiling wide. He was clever enough to know the sky wasn't falling. He didn't know what had the birds in such a panic, but he knew a free dinner when he saw it walking by. And this was 4 dinners. It took all of his willpower not to lick his lips in anticipation. Oh, no! He said, pretending to be scared. If the sky is falling, we'd better hide. Well, jump on one foot and call me King Gravy, but that's what we're trying to do, said Henny Penny. Do you know a place? Asked Lucky Ducky. I know the perfect place, said Foxy Loxy. Quick, follow me. Together, Chicken Little, Henny Penny, Lucky Ducky, Lucy Goosey, and Foxy Loxy hurried off into the bushes. Here, quick, into the safety hole, Foxy Loxy said when they got to his den. It was a warm little burrow, snug and deep, and he knew once he got the birds inside, they were as good as dinner. The birds caught up a moment later. They peered into the fox's den. We'll be safe in here? Asked Lucy Goosey. Safe as safe can be. Just get in. Hurry now, it's almost time for dinner. Lucy honked gratefully and started to climb in, the rest right on her heels. Wait! Came a booming voice from above. Silly birds, the fox means to eat you! What? Cried Chicken Little, peering up into the trees. Above, she saw the old Rowley Owly. He didn't live on the farm, not officially, but he visited often at night to eat any wayward mice. The other birds knew him as a wise and careful friend. He flapped over to them, perching proudly on a branch above the fox's burrow.
"He wants to have you for dinner."
"That's not true," said Foxy Loxy, looking at the group. "I just wanted to keep you safe." "The sky is falling, Rowley Owly!" Chicken Little cried, trembling.
"No, Chicken Little," the owl said patiently. "The sky is fine."
"Fine? It fell and clonked me right on the head." Rowley Owly laughed softly.
"That wasn't the sky, it was an acorn. The squirrels hide them all winter and they shake loose in the spring. Just look."
He flapped and bounced on his oak branch. From forks and crooks and cracks in the tree, acorns pattered to the ground. An angry squirrel peered out from the tree hollow. He started to complain, saw the owl, and went right back inside.
"See, Chicken Little? The sky is fine. Foxy was just trying to take advantage of your panic. It nearly worked, too. You were about to go into his home and be eaten."
Foxy Loxy growled and bared his teeth.
"You haven't stopped me yet. I can still make one of these dodo birds dinner."
Chicken Little and the rest shrank in terror, but Rowley Owly just looked bored.
"You're welcome to try,"
he said, flexing his feet and showing off his knife-sharp, hooked talons.
"But I wouldn't recommend it."
Foxy Loxy looked from Rowley Owly's talons to Chicken Little, then back to the talons again. He licked his lips, narrowed his eyes, and then scampered away into the bushes.
"Well, pick my pears and teach a dog to vote, but that was close," said Henny Penny.
"Yeah, thanks, Rowley," said Chicken Little. "I guess I do get a little panicky from time to time."
"No problem. We farm fowl have to stick together,"
the old owl said. Then he flapped away after the fox, watching to be sure he didn't make any more mischief on the farm. Chicken Little and the others called out their thanks again, waving their wings, and then they all made their way back to the farm, safe and sound. From that day on, Chicken Little swore that no one would take advantage of her again. She worked hard to panic a little less and to think a little more. And together, Chicken Little, Henny Penny, Lucky Ducky, Lucy Goosey, and even old Rowley Owly lived happily ever after. The end. Thanks for listening.